All right, and we're back with the second video for the Beginning Orchestra Parent Night. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I really hope that these videos are more convenient than spending your time wasting away at a meeting at the school. So, special information about being in the beginning orchestra. If you don't already, everyone needs to have an instrument. If you have a violin or viola student, they will have one instrument that you rent that is carried back and forth from home to school each day. They have a cubby at the orchestra room where they'll keep their instrument during the school day. If you play the cello or bass, have a child that plays the cello or bass rather, that instrument is too large to travel to and from school each day, and so we have a class set that is at the school, and you will rent one that will stay at home except for the concerts. Then we will need the cellos and basses to come to the concerts. Our preferred vendors are listed here on the screen. I love, 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 and can't say enough good things about Lyle Violin. They have a great website, violins.com, and they're really good with phone as well, and they deliver directly to the school. You don't have to ever set foot in their store, and you can do all of your payments online. It's really fantastic. If you have not rented an instrument yet, we are starting on instruments on the second day of school, so we really need those instruments to get requested as soon as possible so that your child can be successful. They do need to come from a reputable store. We cannot just have them purchased off the internet. There's no way to control the quality of these instruments, and they often end up being more expensive than the instrument is worth. And the rental programs that are set up through those shops are like payment plans essentially, and so while it may seem like a good deal to just spend $100 on a cheap internet instrument, it's the child's going to notice the poor quality very quickly. If you are having trouble with finances right now, we have this really great program at CCISD called CCSD Cares, and just let us know. We don't know who you are, so you must reach out to us if you need help with getting an instrument for your child. The district's really great about making sure that every child has an instrument if they want to play, regardless of your situation at home. What can you do to help your beginning student? It's really easy. Set up a regular practice time at your house and help it become a part of your family's routine. Make a place that's safe for your child to practice, that's not going to be in the way, and help them out by listening to them. They're proud of their work, and they really just want to show you and get your approval. And I can tell you, since this is going to be my 8th year here at League City, that in the beginning, it doesn't always sound perfect. They're beginners, that's what the point is. They're working on it, and they're just looking to you for support and encouragement, and of course your love, which I know you give to them. And so just be encouraging, especially in this first 9 weeks when it's going to be a little rough start, and you'll just be so amazed with how fast they develop under your care and a regular practice routine at home. Oh man, we are so excited about this. We always do an achievement chart to help track students' progress during the first 9 weeks. And this year we are theming it with Pokemon Go. And I know some of you know what Pokemon Go is because your child's playing it or maybe you're playing it at home, but we've called our version Orchestra Go. And we have these measured achievements that are done by badge color. And the students have to achieve these measurable steps, and we're going to give them stickers to fill in on this chart. Everybody's going to have one in their binders, and then they get these stickers all the way to progress till the end of their Orchestra Go process. That'll be somewhere near Thanksgiving time when they finish this little step-by-step process. And for each badge, they have these little measurable objectives. And so, for example, this first one says it's working on positioning, and so it helps emphasize these important skills that we need to target for these beginning students. And I'm really excited that it's Pokemon themed this year. I know that some of your kids are going to be really excited about that too. This document will come home the second week of school, and this is our practice chart. I know if you have an older student who maybe was in a music program in CCISD, you've probably seen lots of different versions of practice charts. This is our particular version, and it's called the Home Practice Organizer. It is essentially an agenda for orchestra in combination with a record keeping for the amount of time your child is practicing. At the top here, on Mondays, we will fill in the due date, and what exercises they're supposed to be practicing from their book, or techniques that they're supposed to be doing without a book, such as sitting with good position or working on maybe some bow hand shape exercises. Then your child on Monday, when they go to sit down to practice, they're going to look back up at which of these things am I going to cover tonight? And let's say they're going to cover number 4, and they're going to work on their test number 7. In this box here, they'll write 4 and 7. And they're going to notate how long they did it, 10 minutes. And then you're going to sign at the bottom. So your son or daughter is going to come running down the stairs or down the hallway, and they're going to say, Mom, 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 I played my viola. Please sign. And then you initial right there, okay? But let's say your son or daughter is involved in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, and Tuesday night is Boy Scout or Girl Scout night, so there's not any time to practice. If there's not any time to practice that night, they're going to put a 0 because they practiced nothing. For how long? They didn't practice, 0. And then you're still going to give it that signature. What we're looking for there is communication. Sometimes, we get a little carried away and our whole families are involved in a lot of activities, and maybe, little cello practice falls on the wayside. And this is a good way for us to communicate back and forth between the parents and the students and us as to whether or not we're getting that practice time at home. Now everybody's worried about how much. How much are we asking for? Right now at the beginning, you'll see here at the bottom, we're asking for 3 days a week for 15 minutes each. They don't know how to do a whole lot on their instruments right now. We've just gotten started. And so if you get 3 days for at least 15 minutes, that's going to be plenty right now. Is more better? Absolutely. But more over time, not more all at once. It's the practice over time that we've noticed is really makes a big difference with the students' development on their instruments, okay? You'll notice here, if you do the math, that even if your child practices nothing, maybe grandma and grandpa are in town for the week, they don't get any time to practice. You could totally practice in front of grandma and grandpa. They'll love it, by the way. But let's just say, hypothetically, you don't. So it's all zeros, mom and dad sign at the bottom. You're still going to receive an 80% for this daily grade, just for turning in the piece of paper. Because we understand what a valuable skill that is for the child to recognize that they had this document they had to complete, and they still needed to submit it, even though there wasn't the practice at home. So we're going to give them an 80%. It's going to be consistent like that throughout the entire year. The only thing that's going to change is we're going to up each 9 weeks the number of days and the amount of practice to be proportional for the difficulty of music we're covering in class. If you have questions about the HPOs, that's what we call them, Home Practice Organizers, HPOs, please feel free to email us. Detentions. Ooh, this is kind of a dreaded word. We in the orchestra program have a very simplified classroom management strategy. You'll notice it in our handbook. I hope you check it out on our website. It's one of the required documents you're going to look at. We have 4 very easy classroom rules. They're very common sense, but if something happens and your student forgets their orchestra book for class, having their materials is a critical part of being ready for class. They are going to receive a teacher-assigned detention. The slip looks very official. It's a triplicate form, and it is very alarming to receive it at home, but I just wanted to make sure you knew this is just between us, the teachers of orchestra, and you. It's not going up to the office level. It's very personal, and so it's between us and the student and you, the parents at home. And we're going to negotiate a before-school 30-minute detention. Our detentions typically start at 7:20 in the morning because we have class at 7:50. And so this would be for even the first offense. There are no warnings in our class. We've found that it just gives students a lot of leeway. And so we'll have about a week, 2 weeks of practice time before we start strictly enforcing our detention policy. And so we hope that this will clear up any confusion you might have about these detentions coming home. They do look a little scary, but don't worry, it's just for these minor offenses that we handle in our classroom. SmartMusic. I'm going to have a whole separate video about this really cool program called SmartMusic. A quick summary of it is all your students are going to get these cool tablets that they get home from the district, and there's a program where they can practice along electronically with the music on screen, and it's going to assess for them whether or not they're playing the music correctly. It can hear them. And I can't wait to tell you all more about it, and I can't wait to use it more in class, and I'm just really looking forward to all of that information. It is something that we'll have available as a class set that they can use in our classroom, but then also you can make a purchase of it, a $40 subscription, which accesses it for an entire year, 12 months. And you'll have access to tons and tons of pieces, and that's totally optional for whether or not you'd like to have that available at home, and we'll talk more about that in another video. Thank you so much for watching these 2 short videos. I know they may seem a little lengthy, but it's better than the time that you would have spent away from your families. Don't forget you can always find us at our email addresses. We're really great with email. And I hope you'll check out some of our other videos about submitting your online paperwork and also about the SmartMusic program. Thank you so much for your time.